Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to our first virtual First Chapter Friday. For those of you that have never heard of First Chapter Friday before, I'm going to be reading to you guys just one chapter of a book, and then I'm going to leave you hanging in hopes that you'll want to continue to read the book on your own. First Chapter Friday is an awesome way for you guys to be introduced to new books. And, hopefully during this time, especially during this time when we're all home, you guys are continuing to build your reading lives. So this is a really great way to, expose you guys to new books that you might want to read on your own. So the book that I chose for today's First Chapter Friday is a mystery. It's called The Westing Game, and it's by Ellen Raskin. Here's a picture of the cover. And as you guys can see, I'm using my iPad because my hard copy of The Westing Game is in school. So I'm going to be reading on this for today. I always love to start with reading the back of the book blurb because it tells us really good information about what the book's going to be about. So I'm going to start with reading that to you guys today. So it says, "Where there's a will, there's a way, and Sam Westing has left quite a will." One fateful day, 16 people gather for the reading of Samuel W. Westing's will. To their surprise, the will turns out to be a contest, challenging the heirs to find out who among them is Westing's murderer. Forging ahead through blizzards, burglaries, and bombings, the game is on. Only two hold all the clues. One of them is a Westing heir. The other is you. All right, guys, so here is Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called Sunset Towers. The sun sets in the west. Just about everyone knows that. But Sunset Towers faced east. Strange. Sunset Towers faced east and had no towers. The glittery, glassy apartment house stood alone on the Lake Michigan shore 5 stories high. 5 empty stories high. Then one day, it happened to be the 4th of July, a most uncommon-looking delivery boy rode around town slipping letters under the doors of the chosen tenants-to-be. The letters were signed Barney Northrup. The delivery boy was 62 years old, and there was no such person as Barney Northrup. Here's what the letter said. "Dear Lucky One, here it is, the apartment you've always dreamed of, at a rent you can afford, in the newest, most luxurious building on Lake Michigan. Sunset Towers. Picture windows in every room. Uniformed doorman, maid service, central air conditioning, high-speed elevator, exclusive neighborhood, near excellent schools, etc., etc. You have to see it to believe it, but these unbelievably elegant apartments will be shown by appointment only. So hurry, there are only a few left. Call me now at 276-7474 for this once-in-a-lifetime offer. Your servant, Barney Northrup. P.S. I am also renting ideal space for doctor's offices in the lobby, coffee shop with an entrance from the parking lot, and a high-class restaurant on the entire top floor." 6 letters were delivered. Just 6. 6 appointments were made, and one by one, family by family, talk, Barney Northrup led the tours around and about Sunset Towers. "Take a look at all the glass, one-way glass," Barney Northrup said. "You can see out, nobody can see in." Looking up, the Wexlers, the first appointment of the day, were blinded by the blast of morning sun that flashed off the face of the building. "See those chandeliers? Crystal," Barney said, slicking back his black mustache and straightening his hand-painted tie in the lobby's mirrored wall. "How about this carpeting? 3 inches thick." "Gorgeous," Mrs. Wexler replied, clutching her husband's arm as her high heels wobbled in the deep plush pile. She, too, managed an approving glance in the mirror before the elevator door opened. "You're really in luck," Barney Northrup said. "There's only 1 apartment left. But you'll love it. It was meant for you." He flung open the door to 3D. Now is that breathtaking? Or is that breathtaking? Mrs. Wexler gasped. It was breathtaking, all right. 2 walls of the living room floor were floor-to-ceiling glass. Following Barney Northrup's lead, she oohed and ahed her joyous way through the entire apartment. Her trailing husband was less enthusiastic. "What's this, a bedroom or a closet?" Jake Wexler asked, peering into the last room. "It's a bedroom, of course," his wife replied. "It looks like a closet." "Oh, Jake, this apartment is perfect for us, just perfect," Grace Wexler argued in a whining coo. The third bedroom was a little small, but it would do just fine for Turtle. "And think what it means having your office in the lobby, Jake. No more driving to and from work. No more mowing the lawn or shoveling snow." "Let me remind you," Barney Northrop said, "the rent here is cheaper than what your old house costs in upkeep." How would he know that? Jake wondered. Grace stood before the front window, where beyond the road, beyond the trees, Lake Michigan lay calm and glistening. A lake view. Just wait until those so-called friends of hers with their classy houses see this place. The furniture would have to be reupholstered. No, she'd buy new furniture. Beige velvet. And she'd have stationery made. Blue with a decal edge, her name and fancy address in swirling type across the top. Grace Windsor Wexler, Sunset Towers on the lake shore. Not every tenant-to-be was quite as overjoyed as Grace Windsor Wexler. Arriving in the late afternoon, Seidel Pulowski looked up and saw only the dim, warped reflections of the treetops and drifting clouds in the glass face of Sunset Towers. "You're really in luck," Barney Northrop said for the 6th and last time. "There's only one apartment left, but you'll love it. It was meant for you." He flung open the door to the one-bedroom apartment. "Now is that breathtaking, or is that breathtaking?" "Not especially," Seidel Pulowski replied, as she blinked into the rays of the summer sun setting behind the parking lot. She had waited all these years for a place of her own, and here it was, in an elegant building where rich people lived. But she wanted a lake view. "The front apartments are taken," Barney Northrop said. "Besides, the rent's too steep for a secretary's salary. Believe me, you get the same luxuries here at a third of the price." At least the view from the side window was pleasant. "Are you sure nobody can see in?" Seidel Pulowski asked. "Absolutely," Barney Northrop said, following her suspicious stare to the mansion on the north cliff. "That's just the old Westinghouse up there. It hasn't been lived in for 15 years. "Well, I'll have to think it over." "I have 20 people begging for this apartment," Barney Northrop said, lying through his buck teeth. "Take it or leave it." "I'll take it." Whatever else he was, Barney Northrop was a good salesman. In one day, he had rented all of Sunset Towers to the people whose names were already printed on the mailboxes in an alcove in the lobby. Office, Dr. Wexler. Lobby, Theodorus Coffee Shop. 2C, F. Baumbach. 2D, Theodorus. 3C, S. Pulowski. 3D, Wexler. 4C, Who. 4D, J.J. Ford. 5. Shin Hu's Restaurant. Who were these people, these specially selected tenants? They were mothers and fathers and children, a dressmaker, a secretary, an inventor, a doctor, a judge, and, oh yes, one was a bookie, one was a burglar, and one was a bomber. And one was a mistake. Barney Northrop had rented one of the apartments to the wrong person. All right, and that brings us to the end of chapter 1. So if you want to continue reading it, I'm sure there's a way that you could probably download it, or if you want to wait for libraries to reopen, you could definitely take it out at the library. Again, the book is called The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin, and I really hope you enjoyed this week's First Chapter Friday, and stay tuned for next week's. We have a really good one for you, and I'm very excited. I'm actually going to continue to read this book again because I do love this book so much. So I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.